The life history of King Baldwin IV, the Leper King of Jerusalem. King Baldwin IV of Jerusalem is remembered as one of the most remarkable and tragic rulers of the medieval world. Despite suffering from a painful and incurable disease, leprosy, from a very young age, Baldwin ruled the kingdom of Jerusalem with courage, intelligence, and determination. His short life was filled with war, political struggle, and personal suffering, yet his leadership left a lasting mark on the history of the Crusader states. Baldwin IV became a symbol of bravery, faith, and resilience in the face of overwhelming adversity. Early life and family background. Baldwin IV was born in 1161 in the Kingdom of Jerusalem. He was the son of King Amalric I of Jerusalem and Agnes of Courtenay, a noblewoman from a powerful Frankish family. Baldwin was born into a world shaped by constant conflict between Christian Crusader states and Muslim powers in the Middle East. From birth, Baldwin was destined to play an important role in the politics of Jerusalem. The Kingdom of Jerusalem was established after the First Crusade in 1099, and by Baldwin's time, it was under constant threat from surrounding Muslim rulers, especially from the rising power of Saladin, Salah ad-Din Yusuf ibn Ayyub. As a child, Baldwin received a strong education. He was taught by William of Tyre, one of the most respected scholars and historians of the time. William later became Archbishop of Tyre and wrote important historical accounts of the Crusades. Under William's guidance, Baldwin learned reading, writing, religion, history, and the responsibilities of kingship. Discovery of leprosy, one of the most defining moments of Baldwin's life, occurred during his childhood. While playing games with other boys, William of Tyre noticed something unusual. Baldwin did not react to pain when his arm was scratched or pinched. This lack of sensation alarmed William, who suspected that the boy might have leprosy, a feared disease in the medieval world. Leprosy, also known as Hansen's disease, was incurable at the time and caused progressive damage to the skin, nerves, and body. People suffering from leprosy were often isolated and treated as outcasts. For a future king, this diagnosis was devastating. Despite this, Baldwin's condition was initially kept secret. His family hoped that the disease might progress slowly enough for him to rule effectively. Baldwin himself showed remarkable strength and maturity, refusing to let his illness define him. Becoming king of Jerusalem in 1174, King Amalric I died, leaving Baldwin, who was only 13 years old, as the heir to the throne. Because of his young age and illness, a regency was established. Raymond III of Tripoli, a powerful noble, was appointed as regent to govern until Baldwin came of age. In 1176, Baldwin IV was officially crowned King of Jerusalem. Even though he was young and already suffering from leprosy, Baldwin showed intelligence beyond his years. He took his royal duties seriously and began participating actively in governance and military planning. Political challenges and internal conflicts. Baldwin IV's reign was marked by intense internal political struggles. The Kingdom of Jerusalem was divided between rival factions of nobles, each seeking power and influence. One major conflict involved Baldwin's sister, Sibylla, who was a key figure in succession politics. Since Baldwin had no children and could not marry due to his illness, Sibylla's future husband would likely become king. This made her marriage a highly political matter. Sibylla was married to Guy of Lusignan, a French nobleman. Baldwin eventually lost confidence in Guy's leadership abilities and attempted to limit his power. This decision caused deep divisions among the nobility and weakened unity within the kingdom. The rise of Saladin during Baldwin IV's reign. The greatest external threat came from Saladin, the Muslim ruler who united Egypt and Syria under his leadership. Saladin aimed to reclaim Jerusalem and end Crusader rule in the Holy Land. Saladin was not only a powerful military commander, but also a skilled diplomat. He carefully weakened the Crusader states through raids, alliances, and strategic warfare. Baldwin IV recognized Saladin as a serious threat and prepared to resist him despite his declining health, military leadership, and the Battle of Montgisard. One of Baldwin IV's most famous achievements was his leadership during the Battle of Montgisard in 1177. At this time, Saladin launched a major invasion of the Kingdom of Jerusalem with a large army. Baldwin, though only 16 years old and severely ill, personally led his forces into battle. He was reportedly so weak that he had to be supported on his horse. Despite being heavily outnumbered, Baldwin's army achieved a stunning victory. The Crusaders surprised Saladin's forces near Montgisard and defeated them decisively. Saladin narrowly escaped with his life. This victory greatly enhanced Baldwin's reputation and showed his courage and determination. The Battle of Montgisard became legendary and proved that Baldwin IV was not merely a sickly king, but a capable and inspiring leader. Declining health and continued rule as Baldwin grew older. His leprosy worsened. He began losing sensation in his hands and feet, leading to severe injuries and infections. Eventually, he became partially blind and physically disabled. Despite his suffering, Baldwin refused to abandon his duties. He continued to attend council meetings, make decisions, and plan military strategies. His mental strength remained sharp even as his body weakened. Because Baldwin knew he would not live long, he focused heavily on securing the future of the kingdom. He tried to ensure that a capable ruler would succeed him and protect Jerusalem after his death. Succession crisis, the issue of succession, became the greatest challenge of Baldwin IV's reign. Since he had no children, the throne would pass through his sister Sibylla or his younger half-sister Isabella. Baldwin attempted to prevent Guy of Lusignan from becoming king, fearing that Guy lacked the skills needed to defend the kingdom. At one point, Baldwin even named Sibylla's young son, Baldwin V, as co-king, hoping to bypass Guy entirely. This decision temporarily stabilized the situation, but it also deepened political divisions. Baldwin IV struggled to balance competing interests while his health continued to deteriorate. Final years and death by 1184, Baldwin IV's condition had become critical. He was nearly blind and unable to walk without assistance. Recognizing that his death was near, he made final arrangements for the kingdom's leadership. In 1185, at the age of 24, King Baldwin IV died. His death marked the end of one of the most courageous reigns in Crusader history. He was buried in Jerusalem, the city he had fought so hard to defend. Aftermath and fall of Jerusalem after Baldwin IV's death. His nephew Baldwin V briefly ruled but died soon after. This led to the rise of Guy of Lusignan as king, the very outcome Baldwin had tried to prevent. Under Guy's leadership, the Kingdom of Jerusalem suffered disastrous defeats, most notably at the Battle of Hattin in 1187, where Saladin crushed the Crusader army. Later that same year, Jerusalem fell to Saladin, ending nearly 90 years of Crusader control of the Holy City. Many historians believe that if Baldwin IV had lived longer, the fall of Jerusalem might have been delayed or even prevented. Legacy of King Baldwin IV. King Baldwin IV is remembered as one of the most inspiring figures of medieval history. His life represents courage in the face of suffering and leadership under impossible circumstances. Despite living in constant pain and knowing that his life would be short, Baldwin never abandoned his responsibilities. He fought bravely, ruled wisely, and put the survival of his kingdom above his own comfort. Historians admire Baldwin for his intelligence, strategic thinking, and moral strength. His story has been retold in books, documentaries, and films, where he is often called the Leper King. Conclusion: the life of King Baldwin IV is a powerful reminder that true leadership is not defined by physical strength, but by determination, wisdom, and courage. Though his body was broken by disease, his spirit remained unshaken. In just 24 years of life, Baldwin IV achieved what many rulers could not accomplish in a lifetime. He stood against one of history's greatest military leaders, held together a divided kingdom, and ruled with dignity until his final breath. King Baldwin IV's story continues to inspire people around the world as a symbol of resilience, sacrifice, and unwavering duty.